Thank you for watching videos by Jeff Sibelius and landandairphotos.com. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to add titling and background music to your drone video, or any video, with Cyberlink PowerDirector 16. In previous episodes, I gave you a tour of the Edit tab in PowerDirector 16, showed you how to import and cut video, and add transitions. If you haven't watched those, please click the link in the upper right corner of this video. You will get the most out of these first 5 tutorials if you watch them in order. Before I go on, many viewers are enjoying this series, so I'll be doing more tutorials on using PowerDirector. If you enjoy this series, click the little cartoon Jeff on the screen right now to subscribe, and be sure to click that little bell icon so you'll be notified when I post again. Also, if you want to buy PowerDirector, please use the link in the description below. If you do, Cyberlink will contribute to this channel at no extra cost to you. Now you're ready to move on to Episode 4, Titling and Background Music. I've opened the masterpiece project we've worked on through the first 3 episodes. Here is our project right where we left things at the end of Episode 3. I'm going to close this gap so that all the clips run smoothly together. Click on the first clip you want to move. Then hold your Shift key and click on the last clip you want to move. Now all the clips from the first to the last you selected are highlighted. Now I simply click and drag to move all the selected clips over on the timeline. Now that you've assembled your video, cut it down to size, and added transitions, it's time to add a title to your production. Scroll back to the beginning of your production. Let's add a title here. Go up to the Media Library and choose the Titling room. You have several choices for text, from plain to very fancy. Let's start with a basic text block. Click and drag the basic text block down to your timeline to the row marked for text and drop it there. Drag the text over to the left so it starts at the beginning of the video. Drag your timeline slider all the way to the left and hit play in the preview screen, and you see the text appears on top of your video. On the timeline, double-click on the text and a text editor appears. Here you can change the words, drag the box in and out to change the font size, select the text and choose a different font or color. Add a drop shadow to the text. And move the text box around on the screen. When you're done changing your text, hit OK. Let's look. I noticed that the way things are set, the text just pops in while the video behind it fades in. That doesn't look very good. I'll go up to the Media Library and choose the Transitions room. Click and drag the fade transition down to your text block and drop it at the start. Now your text fades in just like the video clip. The text should fade out too, don't you think? Drag another fade to the end of the text block and drop it. Now your text fades in and out. We can add more text anywhere we'd like in the video by following this process. Our first video is almost complete, but now we need music. Remember that you can't put just any music on your video if you plan to use it online. You have to use music that has been licensed by the composer for you to use. I'm going to do an episode on finding music that you can legally use in your videos soon, so I'm not going to go into that here. Once I complete that video, I'll link it in the upper right corner of the screen in this episode. If it's done, you should see that link now. For now, let's say you found the music you want to use and you made sure it's legal. You've downloaded a copy to your computer and you're ready to add it to your video. Go up to your media library and click on the media room. Now click on the Import Media icon. Choose Import Media Files. Navigate to the right folder. Select your music file and import. This puts the music into your media library. Now you can click and drag the music file down to your timeline and drop it on the music track, the one designated by musical notes. Make sure you slide it all the way over to the left so it starts at the beginning of your video. Test it out on your preview screen. Did you notice that the wind sound on the first video clip was playing on top of the music? That doesn't sound very good. Scroll back up to the first row. See the waveform showing the audio portion of this clip? To the left of that is a checkbox. Uncheck the box and now that sound won't be displayed. Here's the clip without that noise. The last thing we need to do is edit the sound at the end of your video. In this case, the song doesn't last long enough. Just drag the song in again and overlap it a few seconds. Now put your timeline slider at the end of the video so you know where to cut off the music. Then split the audio clip and delete the remaining piece of audio that runs after the end of the video. Let's test it. Something isn't right. Watch this again. The video fades out, but the music just cuts off. Let's fade out the music to match what the video does. First, let's find the end of your video. Now, place your timeline slider at the start of the fade out on your video clip. Here is where we want the music to begin its fade out as well. Now, click on the last segment of music at the end of the video to select it. In your media library, click the fourth icon from the bottom. The icon looks like the slider on a mixing board. This is your audio mixing room. You can see several sliders for the different audio tracks in the timeline. Our music is on the music track, and you can see the second slider is labeled Music. This is the one we need to change. Beneath the slider, you see two triangles above the word Normalize. The left button is a triangle growing from left to right. This would indicate fading in. The other button has a triangle that is shrinking down to nothing. That represents fading out. Click the Fade Out button. Back to the timeline. Scroll back down if you need to so you can see the music track. I'll zoom in so you can see it better. There is a white dot on the audio clip directly beneath where the video fade starts. This is called a keyframe, which is how you mark a place where some kind of change will begin. To the right, at the end of the audio clip, you see another keyframe. Notice that it is down lower than the first keyframe. A white line shows the descending path between the two keyframes. The second keyframe shows where your change will end, in this case at the end of the clip. The white line leading down from the first keyframe shows a decrease in volume. This means you have begun a fade out at the first keyframe and the music goes silent at the last keyframe. Let's move our cursor back a little and preview it. Now the music fades out just like the video. As you can guess, you can make your music fade in as well. I'm not going to do it here, but the process is basically the same. I'm going to hit Ctrl+S to save my project so it's ready for the next episode. That concludes episode 4 of Editing with PowerDirector 16. Your video masterpiece is complete. In the next episode, I'll show you how to output or render your masterpiece into a video file that you can upload to YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you'd like. Thanks for watching. Remember, sharing is caring. If you would share this video on social media, I would really appreciate your help. On screen, you'll find a link to the complete playlist of PowerDirector 16 video editing tutorials, so please check them out. If you want more tutorials, let me know in the comments below. Before you go, be sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to this channel so you know when more videos are released. Next video coming soon.